Hello, I'm going to record this just a straight shot of a read from page 113 of the Mystic Bible, on for about 10 pages. I want to upload something just so we know we're in the creations of Eden. I am going to upload the other chapters as my data plan gets upgraded. So the gold spoken of is the energy current of a yellow color flowing upwards over the pituitary and pineal bodies of the optic thalamus and creates a gold colored light current, which is pictured as a halo around the head of saintly persons. The Hindus call this current Udana. The onyx stone is a stone of revelation, as being the center of the forehead of the third eye, or Tidrasil, the door of the soul, the narrow gateway to the lost world of higher realms, symbolized by the uterus of the Egyptians. Psychologically, we think we cover all the grounds by merely calling this the cerebrospinal nervous system. The name of the second river is Gihon, which means gusher or intermittent spring virgin fountain, which applies to the heart of the beats of the fountain of life of body, and the energy element was so called air by the ancients. It creates and sustains the second oval cavity, the chest with the heart and lungs. Science calls this the respiratory and circulatory system. The diaphragm is the dividing line. This is also mentioned in the Bible. And God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." Genesis 1-6. In the human body, the diaphragm is the elastic functioning firmament which divides the waters of energies above and below. Two rivers above, the fire and air elements, from the two below, the earth and water elements, and it is important interaction and life depends on it. Without the diaphragmic function, there could be no respiration nor heartbeat. No proper elimination or assimilation or motion is a fixed stabilizer of body functions. Here we also find that the mystic chalice spoken as a cup, namely the heart, the mixing bowl of life, principle, prana, the air, fire, and water elements, prana, or the universal life force, which is also the same energy as the sun. Sun uses oxygen as a conveyor, and we breathe this in as air. The Bible clearly states that life is in the blood. If the chemical oxygen is the life principle itself, it would prolong life indefinitely under an oxygen tent, which is not the case. Prana is the universal breath of life, called the Ruach Elohim by the Hebrews. And when Elohim breathed this breath into the nostrils in form called human, this form became connected with the uniting and functioning of the soul power within, and the human became living, existing on soul and on earth. This prana, Rosh, or energy, flows over each nostril alternatively, enlivens the sympathetic nervous system, and links the body to nature in the energy field. The third river out of Eden's one river is the Hiddekel, Tigris, or black. This is the earth element of the ancients and built upon the operates on the third cavity, the abdomen, which is the digestive, assimilation, eliminative activity. The Hindus call the energy shaman, and we call the gastrointestinal tract of this function of the digestion, assimilation, and elimination. The four rivers of the Euphrates, the great river or water wheel. The ancients called this water element. It is situated in the fourth cavity of the body, the pelvic cavity. The earth and water landmarks are irregular, and so is the space. The earth element above it, the science calls this urinary system, includes the kidneys, which is most prenatal structures. The earth is said to have been created out of water and is surrounded by it. In the embryo, it is surrounded by the floats of the amniotic fluid, and the great wheel refers to the constant birth of river life. It is also referred to as the wheel of the 84 because it contains 8,400,000 species of life each the soul can incarnate. It contains a seed power, which one evidence of the eternal power perpetuation of all life, whether human or animal or vegetable. The billionth descent of any life form or pattern has a power to create, the same as an original pair had. The only perpetual motion power we know of, namely the seed power in all creative things, sustained by the psychic prana as the energy immediately above the physical plane. The four rivers are the same as the four elements of solid, liquid, gases, and energy fields of the ancients and the four systems of the body of modern science. As long as the four elements or energies flow in and through each other and support each other as function, all is well. When one or more river of energy is stopped up, one cannot flow. Life departs from it and goes back to whence it came. And when that is the good minister, the funeral service revives our memory of the mystic lore, not now understood, when they pick up a handful of earth and says, as they throw it to the casket, earth to earth, dust to dust, ashes to ashes. The doctor wrote out a death certificate, which probably stated something as heart failure or endocarditis, but the minister here tells us the true story as to why the person died, the real scientific energy standpoint. The earth element of the body can no longer function, nor draw energy from the great earth element outside, which is the cosmos, and cannot cooperate with the other elements, and now the earth element of the individual body goes back to Mother Earth. And thou shalt eat the herb of the field, in the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread, until thou return unto the ground, for out thou wast thou taketh, and dust thou art, and unto dust thou return. Genesis 3:19 or 18 and 19, as read to you by John F. Kennedy. Dust to dust, the element of air and dust is a negative symbol. When the air principle can no longer breathe or flow to the rhythm of the universal air principle outside, the individual air of life, breath of the prana, the life of the body, returns to the universal reservoir. Ashes to ashes. This person died because the fire principle of energy could not flow in this body and was renewed by the universal fire, the energy of life. That is why it must return to its source in the essence, and the evidence is the fire of the ashes. The Quran is stated in the forms where it was built. God played beautiful music upon them, and the souls entered these forms. It is important to know and understand the process of involution to the soul in the matter. Because of this beautiful music is the sound current, the word, or the holy shab. All these finer principles, vehicles of life and energy and direction, are still within us, although buried and covered with mud and rust, the results of our own thoughts, words, and deeds. These are the reasons we have so much conflict with ourselves and are constantly searching for a lost estate, the lost chord or link to life itself, by seeking out higher essences and trying to discover ourselves. Every principle or energy field within us in our little world has a universal plane of being a field of operation, and the four elements must blend that greater world outside to draw in its universal supply in order to be nourished and healthy. Even so, all the higher energy principles must be supplied from their own plane, and the soul itself must be constantly supplied by the sound current and the beautiful music or shab, with the word issuing forth from the Supreme Father who created it. No part is complete within itself, except and abide with the whole, and united within it. I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman, and every branch of me beareth no fruit, as this taketh away every branch that beareth fruit, he cleanseth, and it may bear more fruit. Already they are clean, because of the word which is spoken to you. Abide in me, and I in you. And this branch cannot bear fruit except in its abide of the vine, so neither can you, except if you abide in me. I am the vine, you are the branches, as it abide in me, and I am in him, and it beareth much fruit. For a part of me can do nothing. If a man abideth not in me, they are cast forth as this branch. It is withered, and they gather from them, and cast into the fire. They are burned, and you are abode in me. My words abode in you, and whatsoever you shall do, it shall be done unto you. John 15:1-7. And what shall be done unto you? So all of you Catholics who are freaking out, you should be. Why should man be so proud when everything is but a gift and a loan from them and gracious loving Father, the source of all things in essence is communication, contemplation, meditation, and concentration by the individual soul as man is the universal source. And I'm using this just because we're talking about the Catholics, but human. And the human's real function, path, and well-being can be this communication or communion with the soul, the source during this very lifetime, the love of the ocean of love or bliss and intelligence with the universal intelligence at the pattering words of things, creativeness, and intentions. So we are going to end at page 118. I just wanted to get some more content onto the YouTubes for you guys. If anything, and the lives don't start uploading or downloading correctly, I'll just continue on tomorrow with another reading.